Is eBay broken? I'm getting that impression at the moment. There's just so many weird glitches that are happening. Now, one trouble with doing a video about eBay is perhaps you might get yourself sort of, oh, you know what, a troublemaker impression. It's possible. I don't think that's the case. But just odd things. If you go to your seller hub, now maybe you will not notice this in your seller hub, but seller hub, you've got this listings and you've got active. So I'm going to select the active ones. I've got about whatever it is, an odd 235 Marvel comic ones, DC comic ones, art books, really great books, and at brilliant, I think, decent prices, generally pretty low. I love it. Always includes this. So let's just remove that. Don't want that. Today, I noticed this. Another thing that seems to be broken because I do not believe that the views for 30 days are the figures that are shown here. So I've got Frescoes, an absolutely superb book, 0, 0. When We Were Young, brilliant photo book. Yeah, that's brilliant. David Hockney book, 0, 0, 0, 0. Lots of art books, lots of course, Marvel comic stuff. That's my channel is mainly Marvel comics, DC comics, etc. So you've got here Spidey one, absolutely superb. I think at a good price as well. Pogo, £9.99. This is a hardback. It's a huge, huge book. Normally goes for about 30 or 40. I'm putting it on at a reasonable price of £9.99. It's in perfect condition. I always put as very good. I think people then get the product and they go, oh wow, this is actually great. Because I look after the books. Occasionally there may be a dent in it slightly because that's what I got when I got the order. So what can you do? It gets posted to you and it's occasionally got a dent in from the start. Can't pull that out. So again, back to this 0, 0, 0. This one's brilliant. Stone Age Rolling Stones. Find it baffling. Nearly £4 for a hardback. I think quite a decent price. 0, 0, 0, 0. And it's possible I've got lots of competition in the areas that I'm going with. But I think Scoop Scuttle, maybe not one that everyone knows, but 0, 0, 0. Luther Bible of 1534, two brilliant ones, 30 quid. I think is a decent price for it. It's a huge, huge book and beautiful. Dave McKean, 0, 0, 0, 0. And you can see a pattern here. I'm going to go through all of them, but you've got here Velvet Deluxe Edition. Ed Brubaker. Now, it's possible that those pages are getting views and somehow the system, for some weird reason, is generating 0 in the viewings. So odd. Now, it's quite possible that I'm not getting any views at all, which I find odd because I have sold a fair number of books. So, Betty and excellent book, Archie books. These ones are weird. I think I've had those on quite a few times. People have bought them and then cancelled them weirdly a little later. I don't know why, because they're really great books and they're super cheap. They are excellent in most cases, other than this one, which you can see a label on it. Generally pretty good. And you can see 0, 0, 0, 0. I'm just going to go all the way down. 0, 0, 0, all the way down. And you can see, and that one, Shazam one. Shazam the Monsters, $3.99 for a trade paperback. It's a lovely book. Elton John book, brilliant. Then go to the second page. And now second page, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. You can see a pattern there, all 0. This one, great magazine covers, one of the best books. Just an amazing book. Cranach, Early Years in Vienna, superb. Beautiful artwork all the way through. Comics, superb as well. But 0. Is there something wrong with the eBay system? I think when you start seeing that sort of thing. But the thing that's really baffling is also when you go into some of these, and this, I'm just going to choose one. Norman Rockwell. Now let's revise listing. I'm just going to quickly revise listing. And there's been the odd things here, which I've noticed more and more, that some in this one, it doesn't. Quite often, I just get the stock photo. Just here, you go in this and it's stock photo. Baffling. All of mine, I normally add at least 2 photos, front and back, maybe some more. If there's any sort of damage to it, I might go close up. I can notice there's a little bit of roughness there. Now I've got the title here, that at least stays the same, but quite a fair amount recently, I've noticed this is disappearing. The author and book title just goes. It's just nothing there. And the language, English, will just disappear. It'll be blank. And then, of course, then you can't save it. You have to go and put it back in again. But it seems that more and more the data that I'm putting in here seems to vanish. Now, also another thing I've noticed, I mentioned this in another video as well, that's slightly baffling. Used to be able to get a summary of a book. Used to come up. Well, now we don't. We get this awful use AI thing. Now, you can see I've used the AI description here. That's just my laziness, because it is laziness, because it's a terrible, terrible description there. Use AI description. And actually, I've noticed now, use AI used to have a thing here where you've used it. Let's just click it again. I'm just going to write in. Maybe it pops up. Yes, it does at least generate this. And I have sent helpful feedback quite a few times. My helpful feedback is it's terrible. It's terrible. There's not anything that can be said for it. Okay. Item price seems to be going wrong as well of late. Quite often what happens is this field, buy or pay, where you've got the buyer protection, it doesn't calculate it. You can see here, medium sold price, £6.38. My one, £3.28, which I think is quite reasonable. Okay, I'm not doing free postage. Maybe that will be the differentiation. But still, this goes wrong. Sometimes it just will not work at all. This field suddenly goes wrong and you can only enter here, or the other way around. One of the fields will go wrong. And it seems to do that more and more. I've had lots of listings where we get this thing. I don't know what's going wrong with it. What is wrong? Why can't that sit? Surely whoever coded it, this page, it's obviously a universal page, it's coded. You'd think it would work it out correctly each and every time and it wouldn't keep changing. And this occasionally gets highlighted instead of that. Now, personally, I preferred custom postage, but simple delivery, I've now gone full on that. I'm not happy with it, but that's what we got. You can go for custom postage still, even though they said they were going to get rid of it and then they changed their mind and whatever. This also occasionally goes a bit wrong as well. Suddenly I go in here and this value here, 61, it will get that wrong. Just seems page after page of these entries, when you go into them, the data in them always seems to not be filled correctly. And I do not know why. That this system seems to be fraying at the edges. eBay is fraying, that's the best way, at the edge. And then, of course, I can save it. I'm not going to do that. I don't want nothing particularly that I've changed. But you can see I can save that. And we can go back, of course. Let's just go back to listings. But this is the thing that's just noticeable. This 0. Another thing that's gone wrong, because I do not believe this figure, unless it's possible that all my books, and it's quite possible that not everyone is looking for restoration plays of the 18th century. They are amazing, but it's not a book, perhaps, that everyone's searching for. Again, it's one of these books that normally goes for about £40 or £50. I'm putting mine at £7.39. So it's reasonably priced, I think, comparison, but perhaps not in massive demand. And you have to accept that. When you're putting on stuff on eBay, you might get a sale in a year. And I love videos on YouTube where they go, oh, we've got a product that you don't, but it might not, you have to have it sell within a day or 2 days. I honestly do not expect a book about, I can't even say his name. Yeah, you can see his name here, Giovanni. I'm going to say that's an Italian art, but now that came from the National Gallery in the UK. Brilliant book, brilliant. I think it was an exhibition. Excellent art, superb. But the likelihood is that you'll probably get one person in a year searching for it. And hopefully they will search for that one item. But you have to accept that. When you put an item up, now what would I do with it otherwise? I put it in my local charity shop. That's always possible. If they would actually accept donations. They don't accept donations all the time. But now I go along to the charity shop, it says no donations today. So it's either that or you keep it. And then, well, at some point, I don't want every single book that I've got because I've read them, loved them. Unless I was going to be doing some research to do a book about this guy, unlike that, I'm really ever going to reread it again and again and again. And also, I'm a member of the brilliant Senate House Library. and I love that. It's got an art collection that's got millions of books. So most of these books I can get there, and probably better ones than even this. So art books, I love art books, but I have got rid of a lot of my art books recently because of that. But I'm putting them hopefully at a reasonable price, not putting them super low or super high, and things like that. Have you been noticing errors on eBay? Just things, little glitches, maybe different from the ones I'm mentioning. Now, no one ever seems to comment. Maybe it's possible that my videos no one wants to comment on, but it just seems odd that surely other people, yourself, that you are also having the occasional glitch in your eBay listings or things you think, why is that not getting any views? And this just seems weird. And if this is the case, that none of these books are getting any views in the last 30 days, I find that amazing. I truly do not believe that at least some sort of impressions, maybe the impression. Personally, I would love them to have the impressions field here. Now, if you click here, customize table, you can see you get this. So you've got here bids, highest bid, all that sort of stuff, all great stuff. But I would love impressions. I would love to see, does it ever get anyone in any form searching for that book? Now, it's quite possible, of course, it might appear in the impressions position 30,000. The reason being, of course, you might have the word art in the thing, so it picks it up as an art book, but it's so low in the listings. Or even better, is it appearing on the page 1 or 2 or 3, the page listing? So when you do a search, is it appearing in that first page thing? It would be lovely if they included that. I do not know why they can't include that. Would be useful to know, is that product actually ever turning up on page 1 or page 2? That sort of thing. Maybe a page 1, page 2 count. Just something that would be for nerdy parts for me that I would like to see, and see that the listings I'm putting are actually getting any interest at all. You know, it has to be fairly high in the thing. I mean, it's quite possible that you don't get a view because there might be 6 or 7 other books there. People click on those, and then you obviously, you know, you're one they never go to because they've done 3 or 4 and they go off. I can understand that because that's what I do. I see a lot of listings. Don't click on every one. They may be brilliant books. They may be great quality. They may be amazing, but you don't click on it for whatever reason, price, whatever, or the other issues. But would be nice to see start date, the first and second page entry. It would be nice just to know that, is it actually ever turning up on first pages? Don't know why they don't offer that. Now, there is an impressions report. You can see the number of impressions, but you really can't get much from that. I don't think it's not really useful seeing impressions per se. You know, you might see it says 35,000 impressions. Yeah, but you might be position 6 million. So what does that mean? I mean, is impressions on the first page? That's not first page. I can't imagine you're getting 60,000 views and not a view, just impressions. That would be just odd. Now, watchers, questions, all those sort of things, I just think irrelevant personally. I don't watchers are, I think, the least useful. I don't think anyone, because I know when I watch stuff, most of the time I watch stuff, I never actually buy it in the end because I've gone off somewhere else looking for something else, but it's just there as a reminder. It's more a reminder than an actual watch. I think, I might be interested in that Jallo or whatever. So, but let's just cancel that. But anyway, that's my rant about eBay this week. And I probably will put the occasional ones on and loads of many others. And I'd always stuck it. That's another thing that always does that. Let's just refresh it because weird. Sometimes it just sticks on there. Right. Now I can scroll. Didn't want to scroll for some weird reason. I think I won't be probably adding that many more listings at the moment. I haven't actually got that many more books to put on at the moment. I've got lots of books. I love books. Got lots of Blu-rays, DVDs, but I'm just going through them, reading them at the moment. So at this point, most of the stuff I've got on are the things that I'm that's decluttering. Questions, thoughts? Always great to hear from you. A like or dislike, always appreciated. Bye.